I'm sure many of you are working hard on your scholarly conversation, which is due by the end of this week. So I just want to spend a few minutes talking about this assignment and draw your attention to a particular component in this assignment. So if you look at the introduction sheet for a scholarly conversation, you will see we have 5 goals, including processing content, demonstrating critical thinking, building a learning community, and presenting and communicating information and reflecting on learning growth. So with these 5 goals, let's look at the evaluation checklist for this assignment. You will see we have items organized around these 5 goals. When we look at and review your scholarly conversation submissions, the reviewers will be looking for evidence under each of the goals here. For example, for processing content, we're going to look for evidence to see if you as a team have shared numerous external resources. And we will be looking for evidence to see whether you are reviewing and critiquing the materials and asking challenging questions. So this is the basic structure and requirements of this scholarly conversation assignments. I think most of the information is pretty straightforward, and if you have any specific questions, please let me know or let your team members know, and I'm sure we can help you with that. But here in this video presentation, I would like to particularly talking about a component which is called knowledge building. And I kind of intentionally embed the notion of knowledge building throughout this assignment, but not very explicitly. So that's why I would like to create this video to talk about it and draw your attention to this particular notion of knowledge building. To step back a little bit, I want to first introduce a few concepts. So there are many different ways to have scholarly conversations, and there are many different ways to analyze and review scholarly conversations. And one particular framework I personally like is introduced in this article called Distinguishing Knowledge Sharing, Knowledge Construction, and Knowledge Creation. So in this article, the author discussed these 3 different types of discourses and explaining what the differences are among these 3 different concepts. So I just want to give you a very quick overview of these concepts, and then I'm going to explain what I will be looking for in these conversations. So the first one is this knowledge sharing. And according to the article, knowledge sharing refers to the transmission of knowledge between people. And I think I've seen a lot of knowledge sharing activities in our conversations and in our online discussions. I see you are sharing your personal experiences, telling personal stories. You are sharing resources or technology tools that you find. So this is great examples for knowledge sharing. And I think knowledge sharing is a good start for having a scholarly conversation. And if you look at the process guide I provide for a scholarly conversation on stage 1, I also suggest that to start your conversation, maybe each one of you can share a personal story, or you can share your initial thoughts and understanding or even confusions about the topic. So this is knowledge sharing. And a level kind of above knowledge sharing is called knowledge construction. And I also see a lot of knowledge construction in our class. For example, in our module reading discussions, I've seen many of you are posting the quotes from the texts, and then you also have a short paragraph telling and describing why you feel the quote is meaningful and how do you see the connections between the quote and your own experience. This is exactly what knowledge construction is about. It is the process by which learners solve problems and construct understanding of concepts, phenomena, and situations. And it is a very important part within cognitive psychology. And I think the central component in knowledge construction is how you make sense of information and how you interpret information. So that is the key here. And again, I've actually seen a lot of knowledge construction activities in this class. And then a level beyond that is I call knowledge building, but in this article it's called knowledge creation. So I personally feel it is the most difficult part, it is the most challenging task, and in most cases it is missing in our online interactions. So if you look at the article here, it says the term knowledge creation is often used to describe how organizations develop ideas needed to sustain innovation. And I'm kind of glad that in many of your reflection papers, you're talking about innovation should be one of the goals for online learning environment. So I'm kind of happy to see that you already realize innovation and creativity are one of the essential goals for learning. Some examples with innovation and knowledge building would be you would see a lot from the science field. The scientists are making scientific discoveries. They discover new things. They discover new planets, new elements. So that is a very typical example of knowledge building and knowledge creation. And also, theorists or scholars are conducting research, and then based on their findings, they are constructing new theories, they are constructing new explanations for certain phenomena, and that is also of knowledge building. And again, I think it is very challenging and it is very difficult, and I'm not saying that each one of us are expected to make scientific discovery in our scholarly conversation here. But what I do want to emphasize is that let's make innovation and creativity as one of the essential goals for our learning. And let's have innovation and creativity as goals for our scholarly conversation. See if we can go beyond the information we already know and beyond the understanding we already constructed to build something new and to come up and construct new theories and explanations that are meaningful for solving authentic problems that we run across in our teaching and learning practices. So to give you a few specific strategies for knowledge building, you may have already noticed this in our conversation topics document. At the end of this document, actually, I'm listing a couple of suggestions. I really hope that our conversations go beyond the questions listed by me, and the resources you are sharing and learning also go beyond the text or the materials provided by me. I'm hoping you could go beyond those to advance your knowledge around the topic. So a couple of specific strategies you can consider to build knowledge and advance conceptual understanding. The first one, see if you can identify specific theories and concepts. You may notice something from your classroom. You may notice some specific issues or phenomena from your colleagues or from your schools, let's try to figure out what are the underlying theories and principles. So identify one or two specific theories and concepts and dive deeper to learn more. And another way to kind of advance knowledge and understanding is to see if there is any examples that are particularly surprising or confusing to you, and figure out the underlying root causes or the underlying theories or principles to investigate why that is the case. The third strategy would be think about the relationships. We've talked about many topics, many different issues, and many different concepts related to online learning environment. So how would you construct an overarching framework that connects these different dots together? So explore the relationships among the different elements would be another way for you to advance your understanding. And also, just among your own conversations, is there any issues or questions that you as team members just cannot agree with each other? And take that as an opportunity and search for more resources to understand each other's perspectives and collectively construct some understanding and build theories to solve that disagreements. Also, ask a couple of what-if questions. Think of new conditions, factors, and scenarios, and explore what if this happened? What if I don't have this? What if these two elements are missing? What's gonna happen and why? So using these strategies to kind of facilitate thinking and your conversation, and hopefully move all of you forward to the direction of knowledge building. So I hope this helps, and please let me know if you have any other questions.